Hey Mum, should I conquer all of Western Europe and bring paganism into the Christian faith, thus creating a fusion which is the most powerful force for good, for love, for civilization and hope that the world has ever seen? Yeah, go on son, why not? That's a great idea.
Vittime Paschali laudes, Imorem Christiani, Agnus redemido ves, Christus innocens Patri, reconciliavi peccatores, Mose vita duello, complicere mirando, tu vite mortuus, Venia vivum, Di nobis Maria, cui vidisti in via, sepulcrum Christi viventi, et gloria
Good morning everybody, it is Thursday the 29th of July 2021. We are slamming our way through this year. Next thing you know, it'll be 2022. Next thing you know, it's Agenda 2030. The distant rumble of a diesel engine or gasoline, you'd be like, wow, how 20th century. We are here, still on the outskirts of central Manchester. Just off Bury New Road, we have HMP Manchester. Her Majesty's Prison, Manchester. It's just incredible. Manchester is unique in having a giant jail, prison, in the city centre. I'm going to show you, there is actually a sky bridge, a sealed sky bridge from one part of this prison to the next, and it's unique with a public road underneath. So, on the same bit of freehold or leasehold property, under there, I could be stood on the same plot of land as a bunch of rapists and murderers and burglars and robbers being moved from A to B. You can see a bit of barbed wire up the top. They've got obviously big curved panels on top of the jail, making it very convex. Difficult to get a rope ladder over. Difficult to get any hold with a grappling hook. And if you have a look here, all looked over peacefully by the fat controllers in the CCTV room. Fat controller, obviously a joke on Thomas the Tank Engine's boss. And this street, guys, just look at it. How's this for dreary, depressing? We come along here. We are literally in. This is like the no man's land, the UN no man's land in Nicosia between the Greek Cypriots and the Turkish Cypriots. No freedom. No freedom. No freedom. But here, freedom. I don't want anyone to think that I'm condoning the release of dangerous, violent, abusive, nasty individuals. I'm not. You know, anyone, like I do strongly believe in an immediate death penalty straight after conviction for those who torture and or murder children. I don't think there's hope for a soul on this material plane once you've tortured a child. Happy to argue with anyone, happy to have a philosophical discussion about that. But I think we must, as a tribe, send them back. Send them back, get the fuck off my 3D material world. Sorry, you're out of the game. Ask yourself, what would a tribal leader do? Let's say we were a tribe deep in the Amazon, just off the river, you know, poison dart frogs, bows and arrows, hunting monkeys, collecting nuts, and you find out one of the men in your village has killed 2 of the kids in the village. What you and the other big guys, you just drag that guy out into the bush and chop his head off. I'm sorry. And then you take the skull back to remind the tribe that this is the fate of those that hurt children. And you know, that's the way it should be. Sorry, there's a bit of a rant, a bit of a side rant. I just wanted to show you the flyover, the walking flyover on the prison, the sky bridge. And again, HMP Strangeways, if you want to have some fun. See that roof over there? They're changing the tiles on it. That was all occupied, and that roof over there by a bunch of prisoners in the HMP Manchester Strangeways prison riot of 1992 or 94, something like that. Reject modernity, embrace nature. I want to show you guys something. So this is Bury New Road. This is all fake designer goods, all fake goods with lookers, spotters, on the lookout for the police, on the lookout for trading standards officers, because it's all fake, and it's all run by, well, let's just say they're not good people. I did a little walk along here, and they were very, very upset with me filming. Now remember, this is a public street in the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. A man can walk down any public street here and film. He should not feel intimidated, but something put a smile on my face. This is as urban as it gets, guys. You see any trees, any plants? There at the prison, there's some pine trees. But here, there is a flowering tomato plant. Look at this bad boy. Look at this. All alone. In a little crack, probably from someone's bloody BLT sandwich. I love that. Go on, nature. Spread those natural fractals. Photosynthesize that bloody internal thing. Okay, we're on one of these random streets, just coming off Bury New Road. Just want to show you a bit of the side of the prison. Let's do a zoom in. There's your zoom. Again, big wall, big convex, big round thing over the wall, and a bunch of wires and cameras. Okay, we're here in widescreen, a bit of wide angle. These businesses at the back near the prison wall, they've got some free security at the back. They don't need to put a wall at the back. So I've been studying this concrete structure. It's about 7 or 8 meters tall. If I'm about 2 meters, I'm 1.95 meters. It's about 8 meters. Now, all I can think, that looks like it might be concrete. Probably concrete over some metal. So the only way really you could do this, guys, is if you do a very large explosive charge and blow a hole through the wall. Or your other thing, you'd have to get a kind of a Brinks mat, kind of money armored truck, or a giant lorry, or you'd have to get something very heavy and reverse it at very high speed, and then you might smash it, but you'd probably just smash up your vehicle. You'd need a very blunt force, very high mass. You know, you'd have to put maybe a 1-ton block or 2 on the front of your lorry, but then you'd still probably fuck it up. So another thing you could do, getting to very James Bond, very Jason Bourne territory, you'd need an RPG launcher, harpoon style, which would fire through that top section. And by then, if you're going to go through all this effort, you might as well just buy a fleet of drones and yeah, do some aerial bombardment. You know, if you guys want to see some interesting footage, have a look at the drone wars in the Azerbaijan-Armenia war of last year. Anyway, it's enough shit talking for this section. Okay, just a view up Bury New Road. We're just going to capture the Mitsubishi armed police car. Little drive-by. There he goes with his guns. Got the red asterisks on the side. Yes. So here up Bury New Road, I've just walked from down there, guys. Prison, all that stuff, city centre. Check this out. They're bringing a UN-style refugee camp food hub to this area. And what do I mean by refugee camp? It's just going to be old shipping containers turned into some sort of hipster thing. Last days of capitalism. They can't even afford to build a shed. They just need to use a tin can opener and chop out some windows. in the shipping containers, and the hipsters think it's amazing. Oh, it's so sustainable. It's so recycled. American street food. Oh my God. Welcome to your UN Agenda 30 refugee camp. Oh look, they've got it ready already. Look, imagine that, guys. A whole area behind here of those. Welcome to the future, guys. This is the utopia you dreamt of as a kid. You thought by 2020 we would be settling Mars, exploring Europa, having AI treating us all like kings, but no. Pandemics, racial strife, and Chinese-style digital passports. Social credit system. Can you taste that oppression? Great memory I had 8 years ago was taking my newborn son into Machine Mart up in Bury, no, Bolton it was, and buying my first toolbox. Still got that toolbox, used it for a lot of things. Just caught him. Your mind is a prison for you unless you liberate it. Unless you can transcend into the greatest ideas known to man and unknown to man. You might discover a few even greater ideas. Unless you can actually think those ideas and feel those ideas, and you can transcend those ideas and peak just a little bit above the prison wall, then you're gonna be as caged, you're gonna be as trapped as the convicted criminals in Her Majesty's prison behind me. I did my video last week. I'm very proud. 11,000 views on a 32-minute talk about divinity, apotheosis for atheists. Wow, guys, thank you. And what I was trying to get at is that you don't need to be religious, you don't need to be spiritual, you don't need to believe in things that intuitively or rationally you don't believe. But as long as you can conceive of the greatest idea of man, the most beautiful idea of man, if you can philosophize on the nature of love and the sacrificial aspect of love, whereas when you feel love in your heart, that concept is more important than your life. That idea of love is something you would kill and die for if you had to. Don't throw your life away willy-nilly, but if you had to, if it was on the line, would you give your life for love? Would you give your life to defend your kids, or the ones you love? Yes, you would. And so, extrapolate a little bit. Let's take this onion out to the outer layers, guys. Extrapolate. What is love? Baby, don't cage me. Don't cage me no more. What is love? I'll tell you what love is. Love is a synonym for God. God for atheists. The idea of God. Or as Jordan Peterson says in his Kermit the Frog, I don't know if I believe in God, but I certainly believe in the idea of God. And that's good enough for me. The idea of love, the idea of compassion, the idea of kindness, the idea of empathy, the idea of a deity. More and more evidence coming out, guys. Follow a channel on YouTube called Anton Petrov. He's like a Slavic guy. I think he's Russian, but he could be from one of the former Soviet states. He's a Slavic guy, Anton. And he does a channel. He's got like 1 million subscribers. All about the cosmos, all about cosmology, astrophysics. And yes, it does appear like the universe is folded in on itself like a giant 3D or 4D donut. And it's like a Mobius loop. You can run 2 parallel lines along the Mobius loop and never shall the 2 lines meet. And there's a certain beautiful circularity to that, that if you and I, 2 meters apart, set out on our spaceship at a very high speed, we'd eventually come back around, still alongside each other. There's an aspect of this universe which promises never to leave you alone. No, never alone. It's as if your very psyche, your very sentience, your very cognition, your very ability to love and laugh is tied to the very fabric of the universe we inhabit. Science is amazing. It'll give us the how, but you gotta go inside, you gotta introspect if you want to find out the why. Cool whip, cool whip. Find out the why. Find out the why, guys. Find out the why on the XYZ axis. What is love? Baby, don't cage me. Alright, this boy here with his Range Rover. Range Rover Sport autobiography. I love the fake personalized license plate. It's meant to say Fund J, and he's got his graphic designer to make the F11 look like an FU. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the height of chaviness. I'm sorry, but this is chavier than a couple of track-suited guys stabbing each other on a housing estate. True story, guys. I moved to Manchester and I became a man. Just before then, I was a Chester. Little pig, let me in. Not for the hair on my chinny chin chin. Right, this is the energy you give off when you are grateful that the universe has allowed you to feel love, to be loved, and to give out love to others. And this is the energy you give off when you see it all as fake, when you say it all came from nothing, so therefore it's meaningless. That's your face right there. And you eternally have a boot on your face to kind of reverse George Orwell's 1984. You gotta pick it side. You gotta pick it, guys. Which side? You choose love or you choose fear? It's up to you. I'm a train station. Nah, 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 nah. Wrapped in plastic. It's fantastic. Yes, the roof at Victoria Station is plastic sheeting. Plastic sheeting. One of them actually caved in from the amount of water and it burst and drenched a bunch of people. But check out this mosaic over here. Bookstall, restaurant. This is all old school. This is like almost Soviet style mosaics. And as you can see, there's some old building over here that they've left inside the original brick. You've got your orange tiles. All looks very nice. Hi there.
We're a bit sensitive about people taking photographs.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
We're a bit sensitive about people taking photographs at the station since we had the bombing in 20.
Oh no, sure, yeah, but obviously for people who would wish to do you harm, for tourists.
Well, it's not nice, okay?
Anyway, thank you for treating me like a grown-up and not telling me off. I appreciate that. Thank you. Anyway, as you can tell, there's no nefarious activity. I am, and you're a nice woman. Thank you. Cheers. Have a good day. Thank you. I will do. Thank you. Look at that nice lady. She treated me like a grown-up. She said to me, well, you probably heard. She kind of like smiled and says, "Yeah, we're a bit sensitive about people filming since the bombing." And well, guy, that's the way. I like it. That's the way. I like it. And we come around to the original ticket booth. Look at all that mahogany, or is it painted oak? Look at this, original brass counters. Who's getting some brass tonight, boys? Ticket counter is another mosaic with all the railways. Looks very nice. So friend of mine, who's another camera man, filmmaker man, sent me a group chat of auditors, and all I'll say is I'm glad I try and lone wolf it as much as I can. And this is actually an argument against conspiracies. You get any group of people, say 10, 20 people, that all agree at the start, give them 2 hours and 3 beers each. They'll all hate each other and disagree by the end of it. Gentlemen, but staff only. And we come round. Look at all the old tiles. A lot of tiles going on. Looks like a giant gent's toilet. In fact, I'm filming the old gent's toilet. That's why it looks like a gent's toilet. And it extends around to this side. Look, gentleman mosaic. Yeah, look at that. Have you ever seen a toilet that extends over 2 sides? Beautiful. That's enough now. Thanks for walking around Victoria train station with me. Alright, welcome back to the Printworks. You may remember a video called Angry Security Arm Grab. It's very interesting in there. It's an old Printworks, which has been kind of Disney-fied, I mean, kind of like amusement parkified into a kind of like chavvy drinking. It's where the lads come, watch the footy, get drunk. And last time I was here, the security got a bit arm grabby, but they've got the memo now. Guys, how is the Hard Rock Cafe still a thing? How is that still popular? What's going on? This was like 80s, 90s? Hard Rock Cafe? Most people don't wear masks indoors. The way I see it, most people didn't pay their £10,000 fines. Remember those fines for leaving the house, for organizing a protest or a rally, or musicians going out busking, getting £1,000 fines, £100, £200 fine for not wearing the face mask? Did anyone pay them? Have they all been quietly forgotten? My prediction, unless it really is the Great Reset and we're going to go into a Chinese-style social credit system, my prediction is that all these demands for COVID passports, vaccine passports, personal ID, digital ID, that'll all be quietly swept under the carpet and forgotten about by sheer force of humanity going, can't be arsed, mate, can't be arsed. Or it really is the Beijing style credit system, and in that case I guess we'd have no choice but to go to war. Oh, focus, focus. Oh my god, is it going to focus? Yeah, let's do some train spotting. Oh, there's the Transpennine Express 185-149. Oh, couple of minutes late, going on to platform 3 at Victoria. Oh, let me write that down in my notebook, feels good. Oh yeah, baby, a long row of British summer flowers to cheer up a dreary and cold July day. Hi everybody, we're at 101 Embankment. They've got a nice graphic design thing of on the spinning doors, 1010101, very binary, very Gattaca. Remember the film Gattaca? Ethan Hawke, Jude Law, Uma Thurman, very Uma-ish. And here we are at Gattaca headquarters. And what's funny here, can you see how empty the offices are? In this one, they've got two floors of tenants and the rest is empty, the next 8 floors. 101 Embankment, here opposite Manchester Cathedral, the big boy, was meant to be the premier address in all of Manchester. They had a tenant not long ago called Swinton Insurance Group. Swinton occupied that building, that was going to be their world headquarters. And then the pandemic happens and they're like, nah, we're alright. We'll just send everyone to work at home, it's a lot cheaper that way. What you're looking at now, ladies and gentlemen, is Cheetham School of Music, established in the 1600s, almost 400 years old. Filming around, just doing a bit of I'm interested in architecture, so I like I like I do a YouTube channel. I do like funny commentary on stuff and empty.
Be on your fucking YouTube.
Only if you want to be. Do you want to be? I'll film you if you want.
Oh, yeah.
No. But am I right? I did a little commentary saying that there used to be Swinton Insurance Group was the big tenant.
Still on.
But only those 2 floors, the rest.
Yeah.
But they're struggling, aren't they, to fill them up? This was meant to be like Manchester's premier address opposite the cathedral. And anyway, to all the viewers, some security guards like this guy's quite cool. Comes out, says hello,
Cheers, mate.
asks in a friendly way what I'm up to, and that's it. I just I love the contrast of super old and super new.
Super new.
Yeah, I'm more of a traditionalist. I like the old. I'm not really a modernist.
I like it.
Yeah. Nice.
I'm going back 30 years on this as a car park.
Minshall's house, founded 1690, and it was rebuilt in 1890. A lot of this is actually original. They've kept some parts of it. I'm going to show you one of the original parts they kept. It's kind of like a mission, build upon the buildings, medieval into late classical period into modern period. And on the side of Minshall House, there's a little tribute to Elizabeth Minshall, the niece of Thomas Minshall. And she was the 3rd and best wife of John Milton, the poet. Oh God, sorry guys, you couldn't see that because I was silhouetting it. Elizabeth Minshall, niece of Thomas Minshall, was the third and best wife of John Milton, the poet. And there's a date here, February 24th, 1662. Go on, Elizabeth, you were the best wife. And John Milton, guys, he wrote Paradise Lost, was it? The story of Satan's fall into hell, I think. My literary viewers will know. John Milton, Paradise Lost. Am I right or am I wrong? I think I'm right. Anyway, praise the best wife. Okay, just whilst I'm filming it, so we're above the medieval bridge. Could you tell me just a few things about it?
I'm not a historian, I can't tell you very much, no.
Yeah, you look more like a geography teacher.
I am a teacher.
Are you really?
But we are, as far as I'm aware, this is from about 1420, the remnants of the bridge here.
Wow.
So
That's pre-Shakespeare, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's sort of one of the only bits of ancient Manchester that's still kind of visible to the public.
Wow.
It was opened up and it was closed back in again, but I suppose you've got to imagine this as a walkway with a very early church, as it would have been over there before the cathedral.
Oh, was there a smaller church before the cathedral on that site?
Yeah, so you've got to imagine this with, you've got to imagine the ground and the smoke and the fires and the animals.
And the smell.
Exactly, yeah, but I'm not going to emulate that one for you.
Thank you.
But that's the best I can. I'm surrounded. So you can pop round the other side as well, as you can see.
Oh, from the Gandhi statue.
And have a look down.
I'll do that.
I can't get you in there today, so.
I appreciate showing me already. Thank you. As the nice guy suggested, come into the gardens at the back, and here you can see the original bridge from almost fell over there, 1420. And look at that, they just build and build and build on top of it. Incredible. Hey look, it's got one of those like glass door things. Wow, it's open. Should we go in, guys? Look at that. Imagine the men 700 years ago laying these stones, and then they're like, oh, which is the plug one? Is it that one? Is that the one that holds it all together, drops in a little V shape, and then it spreads all the forces? Or is it that one or that one? One of these. I'm gonna try and sneak in, see if we can get there. No, I've been rumbled by the cleaner already, but I smiled and waved. If you pretend you're a tourist and smile and wave, you can go in anywhere. The old BMX took my eye. Yeah, that's an old unlocked but very old and rusty BMX. Hanging bridge, guys. Get the faithful over to the church. Imagine what Christianity was like in 1420. Wow, 1420. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Forgive the echo. I'm in a meeting room in Manchester Cathedral. I just want to start off and say that this year now is the time to make allies. The time for separation and fear has to be over. There's now two camps solidifying as the Hegelian dialectic, and it's not a good situation, but it's as simple as the choice between fear and love. And there is nothing we can do as the world turns now, as individuals, but together, as allies, as a unified front, we can do something. I get asked all the time when I meet fellow Christians, and they ask me, oh, what are you? I say, well, I'm Catholic, baptized Catholic. And I am always disappointed and amazed how other denominations, other interpretations of Christianity, very quickly, when I mention that I am a Catholic, will start insulting Catholicism, trying to find how it's wrong and corrupt. And of course, it's an imperfect organization, but I agree with Saint Ignatius of Antioch, who said that only the Catholic Church possesses the charisma of truth. And for me, as a soul on this planet, it's very warm in here, let me take this off, as a soul on this planet, as a lone wolf in what I do, as a man who has lost family, I love and I admit it, I need the idea of 1 billion people in my gang, in my tribe, that would welcome me with open arms and forgive me and have mercy upon me and want the best for me and want me to transcend into something beautiful. That's my gang. Now, I am a big believer that we can have a brotherhood across the major religions. Now, before a lot of conspiracy theorists start going, woo, 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 New World Order religion, Madame Blavatsky, theosophy, no. I'm not talking about a one world religion. I'm talking about a reinterpretation of how we transcend together as various denominations of various religions. So the two camps I was talking about, the Hegelian dialectic, they are as follows. There's scared people who are happy to comply and they're happy to follow the herd because they believe that the herd is not wrong, that the leadership and the shepherd of the technotronic, technological, modern pharmaceutical, capitalist, modern society, mass technology, 5G, smartphones, they believe in that, believe in it the same way that I might believe in a transcendental glory of infinite truth, or the same way I might be lost in a perpetual contemplation of what I consider divine. A lot of people trust in their governments. They trust in the scientific method. In fact, I trust in the scientific method. It's not that they trust in scientism as a philosophy to answer all the whys and not just the hows. And these people are playing a far out game. They're like one big holistic system. And the fear you see in Western man and woman's mind is the same fear we saw in the Chinese public after Tiananmen Square in 1989, when the Chinese Communist Party, love that community, hence why we call it Communist Party, machine gunned hundreds, if not thousands, of students asking for more freedom. Imagine that. They got scared. And how did they get the West scared? With a Chinese virus from Wuhan, or what have you. In the time of war, the truth is a very difficult thing to find. It's almost like I've got Jack Nicholson in a Navy uniform, or was it Air Force? I can't remember, Army uniform, shouting at me with those perfect eyebrows. You can't handle the truth. Oh, Jack Nicholson. So, one side says that the technology of humanity, the technology of the natural world, the technology of quarks and photons and electromagnetism and quantum processes and photosynthesis at the edge of the event horizon of a black hole. Actually, scrap the word edge. The event horizon is the edge of a black hole. And also in the microtubules in our synapses and neurons in our mind, there are quantum processes going on. And so the potential transfer of information is several orders of magnitude beyond anything standard scientific computers can handle. So one side says the kingdom of God, God is a metaphor. God is a metaphor for the universe, for reality, for us. We are created in God's image. It's perfect, and challenges will come and go, but challenges will be defeated. Whether it's communism, Nazis, smallpox, this latest man-made problem, which is COVID-19, it will be defeated. We see already it's starting to weaken. All the data is showing that it is weakening. And we win. Humanity wins once again because we trust. We trust in each other and we trust in God. Now, the other side, they are blinkered like horses. Let's look ahead. Now, I can't see the door over there, can't see the window over there, let's be blinkered. And when the government or the NHS or the CDC says to them that the pandemic's getting worse, they're going to need a third booster jab, a fourth booster jab, twice yearly seasonal booster jabs. And we don't even need to go too far up the conspiracy theory tree to find out the out in the open organized conspiracies. The more people take the vaccine, the more directors at pharmaceutical companies will make cha-ching, 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 the more people take this vaccine and get terrified into taking the vaccine, which might not work. The more money shareholders in AstraZeneca, Pfizer, and you know a lot of government figures, members of parliament, members of Congress, of the Senate over in America, lords in the House of Lords. Can you believe that in the UK we still have a House of Lords? There's only one Lord, isn't there? And I'm in his house. We can't have a House of Lords. Yeah, they all have shares in these pharmaceutical companies. And I put this on social media and someone wrote to me and it was like, it was almost perfect Stockholm Syndrome. He said, yeah, Charlie, but intelligent people invest in intelligent things. Okay. So the novel Brave New World, it talked about outside the cities, there's the savages. And the way Aldous Huxley, what a great name, Aldous Huxley. You ever read his book where he took loads of mescaline and wrote The Doors of Perception? Wow, wow, wee, wow. That is trippy shit. The only thing I remember from mescaline was thinking that I'd weed myself for 6 hours, having to go to the bathroom to check my wet underwear and trousers, and nope, bone dry. Great trip, not. So I kind of came in here. You know, when you speak to people the right way, you say, I'm a Christian. I'm trying to spread the appreciation of Christianity as the most stunning masterpiece painting on earth, as a historical ongoing program that will resurrect, just like the Lord did, again and again into the future. And they were like, yeah, God bless you, young man. And it's nice to be called young man as a 40-year-old. And so I suddenly realized as well in Catholicism, like people talk about the Virgin Mary and people have a big issue with the Virgin Mary, like, whoa, idolatry, you know, woo. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, where's the space for the mother? But you need to see the archetypes, you need to see the metaphors. You have to understand that in the past, 1,000, 2,000 years ago, people didn't have science and CGI and computer-aided imagery and, you know, cartoons or graphics or magazines or books. Well, they had books, but they didn't have magazines with graphics in it to help them understand concepts. So everything was super dramatic and in a way people can understand. Everyone knows what a young girl is, everyone knows what sex is, everyone knows what conception is, and everyone knows what an immaculate virgin conception is. It's like, wow, a baby coming out of nothing without sex. Now what I see that as is a metaphor of Jesus coming out of Mary's womb is like God coming out of the paradox, out of nothing. Immaculate perfection. You need to start seeing how ancient Christians, medieval Christians, didn't have the same tools we have of description or, you know, the scientific method. They had allegories, analogies, archetypes, metaphors, narratives, and it's amazing. And 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I used to scoff at all this. I used to think it was cringe and old-fashioned, and I honestly believe that people in the past were stupid, like ignorant and stupid. And then you just try and read the story, the passages of Cain and Abel in the Old Testament. You read that, and you suddenly see how, in like as few words as possible, it's like 200 words. It's perhaps the most sophisticated ethical and moral lesson in the history of man. And that was written thousands of years ago. So we're at the brink, guys, where we're going to have fully Chinese-style social credit system, COVID passports, digital IDs. Have you obeyed? Have you got enough points to come into this nightclub? Have you had your triple, quadruple, you know, pentuple, sextuple, septuple jabs? Dude, a jab every week. It's the only way to be sure, because obviously vaccinated people are causing new variants to come out because the virus has to adapt, and the vaccines we have, all of them, none of them are sterilizing against the virus. So you've had your double jabs, you've had your triple jabs, you can still catch COVID, your viral load's going to be the same. I think it does decrease your chances of dying if you're old and unhealthy, old and or unhealthy and or very fat and or have underlying medical conditions. I think it will save you a bit, but the only reason they're vaccinating every Tom, Dick and Harry and every single person on earth that's over 18 in this country is for the good old cash. It's a lot of money to be made when you're dealing with tens of millions of doses, times 2, times 3 per person. The money's incredible. And as they said, what good is it if you gain the whole world but lose your soul in lying to the entire public about the veracity, the strength of this so-called pandemic? I don't think it's going to be too good for their inner souls making a lot of money when people are very scared, when they've used propaganda to terrify the public. I don't think that's doesn't sit right with me. So here's what we're going to do. Over the next few months, I'm going to curate, and put together a political system, a group, because we need some sort of organization. All of us freeborn, birth-faced, unvaxxed human beings out in the savage reservations, which out in the savage reservations is another word for outside the city walls in the natural world. And there's a great line in the Bible, I'll try and paraphrase it. It's, let tomorrow's problems come, just worry about them tomorrow. Today's problems are enough for today. Look at the animal world. Do you think the birds and the deer and the sheep and all the animals, the fish, do they worry where their food's going to come from, where their shelter's going to come from? And neither should you worry. You stick with God, stick with what's right, with what's moral. Realize we are in a moral universe, and there is no escaping from yourself. You know if you've done terrible things, and unless you atone and repent, it doesn't need to be in a Christian sense, but in a psychological sense, almost in the Freudian Jungian sense, you will tear yourself to pieces. The biggest judge of you is you. The human mind, like if you do something really bad, that will play around. When you're trying to get to sleep at night, that will stick with you. So stick with what's right, and the universe will look after itself. I thought I was at rock bottom not too long ago, but then I realized that rock bottom has a basement, and it is akin to hell. And when you spend any time in there, you very quickly realize that there is the way that is right, there is the narrow path that is right, and it's very easy to convince yourself to not follow it. But when you're on the path, you will be protected. When you are doing the right thing, you will be wearing the armor of God, which is just a nice metaphor for the confidence of doing right will give you a psychological boost, which will give you an immune system boost. And just before I finish, I did a Google search, and I searched atheism and cancer recovery, and oh my God, there is a lot of scientific evidence that deeply religious people survive and recover and get their cancers into remission a lot more than non-believers and atheists. Again, it's difficult to find the correlation versus causation. It's difficult to remove all the variables, but it's there in black and white, guys. Cancer is a bunch of cells in your body that are out of ease. They're not at ease, so they are diseased. The cancer cells want to live forever. They want to become permanent. And the ease of spirituality makes you realize that death is a sort of end, but it's also another beginning. And do I believe that? Kind of. I'll be very honest, I hope that. But as much as we know or don't know about quantum physics and the observer effect and the role of the observer, there are many mathematicians that say that God must exist because the universe had to collapse into a particle from a wave function. And we don't know the relationship between the software we have, which is obviously our thinking, feeling, loving, hopeful, emotional self-awareness and ability to experience things subjectively. We don't know the relationship between that software and the hardware of atoms and electrons and so forth. We don't understand that. So imagine if gods are made real by their believers. Imagine if the strength of Jesus comes from the meditation of enough minds, don't know why enough minds to bring Jesus into existence, to keep Jesus. And every time there is a massive problem, you turn to Christ and he is resurrected. We don't know if the powers of the mind together as a collective is what guarantees the afterlife or guarantees God. We don't know that relationship folded over in on itself. So one thing I will end it on is it's clearly something amazing. It's clearly beyond our comprehension. It clearly exists beyond reason in the world of emotions and compassion and kindness and love. And that beautiful George Orwell quote, they were scared of love because it created a world they could not control. And there's your choice, guys. You can have the fear of the technotronic, fully pharmaceutically controlled and ordered and numbered and social credited world, or we can, as the meme suggests, we can return to monkey. We can go and live as savages out in the free world. Give me 10 years as a free man living freely rather than 80 years as a slave. What do you want? You want to be in a cage, watching Netflix, going to a job, getting the boss asking you about your vaccines? Or do you want to build a shed out in the wild and grow your own food and live near a river and raise your kids the way you want to raise them? Okay, it's getting a bit nostalgic, a bit, a bit unrealistic, but thank you, Manchester Cathedral, for letting me talk. This is Charlie Veitch, 29th of July. It's a Thursday, so enjoy your weekend. I'll see you before the weekend.